Hey, where are you? We were supposed to go sightseeing together today. You just disappeared suddenly. We still have plans for the rest of the day, so please come back soon.
Rachel went into labor. I just got the message.
Rachel?
My ex-girlfriend? That Rachel is in labor, so I'm heading back to the U.S. first. Sorry to cut our honeymoon short, but I'm worried about her.
You're going back to the U.S. from Italy for your ex-girlfriend's childbirth, but we're on our honeymoon.
She's giving birth alone, and she must be feeling anxious, so she needs someone there for her. You're a woman, too, and someday you'll give birth, so you should be able to understand Rachel's feelings.
I understand that giving birth alone can be scary, but why does it have to be you, Kevin? Who's more important to you? Me, your wife, or your ex-girlfriend?
Wow, people actually say that line in real life. Think about it. Who needs my help more right now? Rachel, who's giving birth all alone, or you leisurely enjoying a vacation in Italy? It's obvious, isn't it? And yet all you can think about is yourself.
Leisurely enjoying a vacation? This is our once-in-a-lifetime honeymoon. If this was about Linda or a family emergency, I wouldn't be saying any of this. But we're talking about your ex-girlfriend here.
So you treat people differently depending on who they are? That's really low of you. I'm heading back to the U.S. to be there for Rachel's childbirth.
If she's already in labor, you won't make it in time even if you go back now. The travel time alone is over half a day.
I want to be there to support her after she's exhausted from childbirth. You should understand that. Jeez, how cold-hearted can you be? While I'm gone, cool your head and try to fix that cold heart of yours.
You're really going to leave me and go back to the U.S.?
Yes, I am. Rachel needs me more than you do right now.
Kevin, please think about what you're doing. This is our honeymoon. We've been planning this for months.
And Rachel has been planning this baby for months, too. She needs support.
Doesn't she have family, friends, anyone else who could be there for her?
They're not the same. I've known her since we were kids. I understand her better than anyone.
Better than her own family? Kevin, I'm your wife. We just got married.
And I'm still going. My mind is made up. I'll make it up to you later, I promise.
You can't just abandon your wife during your honeymoon and think you can make it up later.
Look, I've already booked the flight. I'm at the airport now. I'll text you when I land.
Kevin, please don't do this. If you leave now, it says a lot about your priorities.
My priority right now is helping someone in need. You're fine on your own for a few days.
This isn't about me being fine. It's about you abandoning your wife for your ex.
I'm not abandoning you. I'm just going back a few days early. You're being dramatic.
I can't believe this is happening. Did you ever really want this honeymoon at all?
Of course I did, but emergencies happen. This isn't how I planned things either.
A friend having a baby isn't an emergency that requires you specifically to be there.
To me it is. I'll text when I land.
Jessica, are you enjoying your honeymoon? Your private time as newlyweds will be ending soon, so make sure to fully enjoy your honeymoon. Linda, I'd like to, but actually, Kevin just ran off saying he's going back to the U.S. What? Going back? But you still have days left on your trip. Are you coming back too? No, just Kevin is going back first. He's leaving you in Italy? Why would he do that? He received a message from a woman he said is his ex-girlfriend, saying she's in labor, and then Kevin suddenly said he needed to go back right away. What? He left you to rush to his ex-girlfriend's side? Yes, apparently this ex-girlfriend is giving birth alone, and he said she must be feeling anxious, so he needs to be there to support her. I tried to stop him, but he called me heartless. And I couldn't prevent him from leaving. I think he's at the airport now. I can't believe this. I'm so sorry, Jessica. My foolish son is doing something incredibly stupid. You don't need to apologize, Linda, but I don't know what to do now. I can't believe he's going back to the US for his ex-girlfriend, even if she is giving birth alone and feeling anxious. I'll try contacting Kevin too. Maybe I can stop that foolish son of mine. Thank you, Linda. By the way, you mentioned earlier that our private time as newlyweds would be ending soon. What did you mean by that? What do you mean? Aren't you pregnant now, Jessica? Huh? Kevin told me you were expecting. That's why I gave him money for hospital expenses. I'm not pregnant, Linda. He told you that? That lying. I can't believe he would make up something like this. I don't understand why he would tell you that. We never even discussed having children yet. I thought that we would get a chance to talk about that on this trip. And he just up and left you. Jessica, dear, I'm so sorry. You must feel terrible right now. I'm just in shock. I don't know what to do. Should I just go home? Don't rush your decision. Take a day to think. You paid for that trip, too. I can't enjoy Italy alone knowing my husband chose his ex over me.
Did you have to tattle to my mom? Thanks to you, she gave me an earful. My flight's about to leave. This is the worst. Are you that upset about me going back?
Of course I am. Who prioritizes their ex-girlfriend during their honeymoon? I won't enjoy staying in Italy alone. I planned this trip to enjoy it with you.
I already apologized. I said I'm sorry. Are you so narrow-minded that you can't even accept an apology? Well, I guess someone who prioritizes herself even after knowing Rachel is in labor would be like that. You're only sensitive to your own pain and don't care about others' pain at all.
Why is this Rachel person relying on you in the first place? I understand feeling anxious about giving birth alone, but doesn't she have anyone else she can count on? Why does it have to be you, Kevin?
I'll say this as many times as I have to, but Rachel and I have been friends since elementary school, so it's natural for her to rely on me. And if you keep complaining, I might not help you when you give birth.
That's a completely different situation.
No, it's the same. It's incredibly self-centered to think it's okay for you, but not for Rachel. You have me, but Rachel only has me. If I don't go to her, she'll be crushed by anxiety. That's how fragile she is. She's not like you who can live on her own.
Oh, that sounds rough. Well, if you're going to say it like that, go ahead and do whatever you want.
Finally giving in, huh? I'm leaving first, so you'll have to return on your own.
That's fine, as long as you're okay with whatever happens when I get back.
What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm about to leave.
Did you tell your mother I was pregnant?
What? Where did that come from?
Linda just told me you asked her for money because I was pregnant. Why would you lie about that?
It's not a big deal. We needed the money.
Not a big deal? You lied to your mother about me being pregnant.
Look, I knew we'd need the money eventually anyway. We are gonna have kids someday, right?
That's not the point. Did you use that money for Rachel?
We can talk about this when I get back. They're calling my flight.
Kevin, did you use that money for your ex-girlfriend's pregnancy?
It's complicated. She really needed help.
So you took money meant for your wife and gave it to another woman?
You're twisting things. It was just a loan. She'll pay it back.
I don't believe you. First, you abandoned me, and now I find out you've been lying about finances.
Look, I have to go. We'll sort this out when I get back.
I'm starting to think there won't be anything to sort out.
Hey, answer right away when I contact you. You're back in the U.S. now, right?
What do you want? I'm still suffering from jet lag.
I need the car, so bring it to the address I'm gonna give you now.
If you need the car, why don't you come get it yourself?
Because I don't have time for that. I want to take Rachel home from the hospital, but I don't trust taxis, and I want to make sure I get her home safely myself.
So even after I return from Italy, you're still with your ex-girlfriend.
I don't have a choice. Rachel is small to begin with, and she's had a slow recovery, so her hospital stay was extended. Or what? Are you going to tell me to leave Rachel behind in her condition?
I don't care anymore. Stay with her as long as you want.
Oh, you finally understand how I feel. Since you understand what a kind person I am, you'll bring the car to the hospital, right?
Just to be clear, I don't understand. I've just given up, and I have no intention of bringing the car to the hospital.
What? You're still defying me?
Actually, I can't bring it even if I wanted to, because I gave the car to Linda.
What? That's my car! Why did you give it to my mom?
By the way, the car isn't the only thing I gave to Linda. After coming back, I immediately canceled our apartment lease and gave all your belongings to Linda. And since I canceled the lease, I couldn't keep the car in the parking lot. I consulted with Linda, and since there's extra parking space at your family home, I brought the car to her place just yesterday.
You canceled our apartment? You're kidding!
If you think I'm kidding, come and see for yourself. The move is complete, and I've already handed everything over to the property management company. It should be empty now.
What the hell are you doing on your own?
I got Linda's permission too. I don't have confidence in staying married to someone who cut our honeymoon short to choose his ex-girlfriend. Since the apartment was for us as a couple, it makes sense to cancel it.
For something this small?
Only you think it's small. No one else in the world would say something this small about a husband who leaves his wife during their honeymoon to rush to his ex-girlfriend. Didn't you know that?
You're mocking me. You're saying this because you want me to come back, but I won't abandon Rachel.
If that's what you want, Kevin, I'm fine with it. If you really need the car, ask Linda.
Damn, what a pain! You better remember this.
You still don't get it, do you? You abandoned me in a foreign country.
It wasn't abandonment. I just had to help Rachel.
Without even discussing it with me first. Without considering my feelings at all.
I knew you wouldn't understand.
That's exactly the problem, Kevin. You made a unilateral decision that affected both of us.
I had to act quickly. There wasn't time to debate.
There's always time for a quick conversation with your wife. Hey, my friend is in trouble. I feel like I need to help. That would have been all it took.
And you would have said no.
You don't know that. You didn't even give me the chance to understand.
It doesn't matter now anyway. I need the car. Where exactly did you put my stuff?
Everything is with Linda. Every last thing that belonged to you.
You had no right to do that.
And you had no right to abandon your wife on our honeymoon. Yet here we are.
Mom, I have a request. I want to use the car now. Could you bring it over? I just heard from Jessica that it's at your house now.
You interrupted your honeymoon to come back, and now you suddenly want me to bring you your car on sudden notice. What do you need it for?
Well, my ex-girlfriend had a baby, so I've been helping her, and she's being discharged today, so I want to drive her home.
Rachel, the Harrison's daughter, right?
Yeah, you know her too. She's not a stranger, so don't be difficult and let me use the car. I'll need it for various things from now on, and I need to buy a child seat too.
I'm speechless. Why do you feel the need to go this far?
Mom, you gave birth to me, so you should understand how hard it is for a woman with a newborn. Don't you want to help her?
If it were Jessica, I wouldn't hesitate, but I have no intention of doing anything for the woman who caused you to abandon your wife during your trip. Besides, the car is in my name. I took out the loan and I'm paying for it. It's mine in every sense, so I have no obligation to grant your request.
I didn't know you were such a cold person, Mom. So anyone who isn't Jessica or family doesn't matter to you? Why are you taking Jessica's side so much anyway?
You don't know this, but I was actually pregnant with a daughter once. I always wanted a daughter, so I was really happy. But just when she was about to be born, I miscarried. After that, I vowed to cherish your wife like my own daughter when you got married.
So you're taking Jessica's side and turning against your own son? That's stupid!
Before calling others stupid, don't you have something to say to me?
What are you talking about?
What happened to the money I gave you for childbirth expenses not long ago? Jessica consulted me, saying you were short on money because she was pregnant, so I gave you money for the delivery costs. But Jessica isn't pregnant. Don't tell me you used that money for your ex-girlfriend's delivery expenses.
Even if I did, it's still for childbirth, so isn't that fine?
Do you really think that? I gave that money for Jessica. If I had known it would go to your ex-girlfriend's delivery, I would never have given it to you.
But we needed the money! There was no choice!
You still don't understand what you've done. Who did you marry, Kevin? Who did you choose as your life partner?
Well...
You keep blaming me and Jessica, but why don't you ever reflect on yourself? If you had considered her feelings even once, you wouldn't have done this.
I'm sorry, but Rachel can't live without me!
After all this, you're still prioritizing that girl over Jessica. I was hoping you'd come to your senses. From now on, I won't do anything for you again. I won't give you the car, and I want you to return the childbirth money I gave you.
Seriously? That was money you gave me!
I didn't give it to you. I gave it for Jessica. And let me tell you, this isn't about favoritism. As your parent, I need to correct this mistake.
I already told Rachel I'd get her a car, and the money... Rachel is unemployed, and I barely have any savings!
That's not my problem. You're a grown adult, so take responsibility for your own actions.
Damn!
And one more thing, Kevin. Were you planning to tell me about the baby at all?
Of course I was! Eventually!
Were you going to tell me it was Rachel's baby, or continue lying that it was Jessica's?
I don't know! I hadn't thought that far ahead!
That's exactly your problem. You never think ahead. You just do what feels right in the moment.
Mom, please, Rachel really needs help right now!
And whose fault is that? Did you ever stop to consider what you were doing?
It's complicated. Rachel and I have history.
History that should have ended when you married Jessica.
You don't understand our relationship.
I understand perfectly well. You're keeping both women on a string.
That's not fair. I care about both of them.
No, Kevin, you only care about yourself and what makes you feel good.
That's not true. I'm trying to help someone in need.
Well, abandoning your responsibilities to your wife, I raised you better than this.
So you're just gonna leave me stranded? Your own son?
You're not stranded. You're facing the consequences of your choices.
Hey, Jessica, you've calmed down by now, right? We can look for another apartment later, but until then, I don't think I have enough money for living expenses. You had quite a bit of savings, didn't you? Lend me some money.
You mean living expenses for you and your ex-girlfriend, right? Why should I give money for you to live with some woman I don't even know? I refuse.
Don't say that! We have a newborn baby, too! Besides, the reason I'm staying with Rachel is because you canceled our apartment on your own!
If you really want to come back to me, why don't you leave your ex-girlfriend and go back to your family home?
Shut up! Just give me the money you've earned like you always do!
You really don't feel any guilt towards me, do you? It's true that in the past, I sometimes gave you the money I earned, but that was because I loved you. I've always been an introvert, and I was attracted to your brightness, which I didn't have. You were my first boyfriend, so I was really happy when you proposed. That's why I overlooked your carelessness with money. But during this incident, I became certain that you've just been using me all along. You started treating me poorly as soon as we got married.
That's just your paranoia!
Are you serious? You literally left me in Italy during our honeymoon to rush to your ex-girlfriend. Oh wait, she's not your ex. She's your mistress, isn't she?
What? What are you talking about?
This Rachel, she's not just an ex-girlfriend, but someone you're currently involved with, right?
That's not true!
You won't admit it, but I heard from Linda. This was my first trip abroad ever, and you asked your mom for money months ago, saying you were going abroad with me? But you told me it was a business trip, when it was actually a trip with your mistress, wasn't it?
What?
If you say it's not true, I can contact your company to confirm. Actually, I already did.
What? Don't do things on your own!
And bingo! There was no such business trip. Maybe the baby Rachel had is actually yours. That's why you're so desperate to take care of them.
Don't make assumptions! Don't you think it's weird to suspect your own husband of having an affair? Normally you'd trust me!
Still won't admit it, huh? If you're going to insist, then prove that Rachel's baby and you aren't related. Take a DNA test or whatever, and I won't be satisfied until you show me the results.
A DNA test? Is that really necessary?
Yes, it is, because it will affect the amount of compensation I'll demand.
Compensation?
Obviously, the compensation you'll pay when we divorce.
You don't care what happens to us?
You're acting like the victim, but you reap what you sow. You're just being overly sensitive about your own pain while completely disregarding mine. While you and Rachel were selfishly enjoying yourselves, do you know how I felt returning alone? You're an adult, Kevin, so take responsibility for your actions. This compensation is the amount you need to pay for your responsibility.
But I barely have enough for living expenses, and I have to return the childbirth money to Mom! There's no way I can pay compensation. Listen, I'm sorry. The only one I really love is you, but she seduced me. I had no choice.
Wow, so cheating men really do say lines like that. If you truly loved me, you wouldn't cheat. Any other excuses? No, right? Well then, expect a call from my lawyer soon. I advise you to answer it because ignoring it won't make things better. So, be happy with your mistress.
Damn!
How long have you been seeing her behind my back?
It's not like that! We reconnected a few months ago!
Before or after our wedding?
Before, but it wasn't serious!
Not serious? She's having your baby!
I never said it was mine!
Then whose is it? And why are you so invested in her and this baby?
It's complicated! We have history!
History that should have ended when you proposed to me, or was I just a backup plan?
No! I love you, Jessica! I really do!
Love doesn't abandon someone in a foreign country. Love doesn't lie about pregnancies to get money. Love doesn't cheat.
I made mistakes, I admit that, but can't we work through this?
There's nothing to work through. You've shown me who you truly are.
People change! I can change!
I'm sure you can, but not with me. I deserve better than this.
You're just going to throw away our marriage? Just like that?
You threw it away first, Kevin. I'm just finalizing what you started.
Please, Jessica, I need you!
No, you need my money. There's a difference.
That's not fair! I need both!
At least you're honest about that. Goodbye, Kevin. It took some time, but the divorce has finally been finalized. Thank you for your cooperation all this time. It's nothing. My son caused you trouble. I wanted to make sure he didn't bother you anymore. Linda, I really appreciate everything you've done for me. Though we were family for only a short time, you treated me so well that I consider you my second mother. I'm truly grateful. Just hearing those words is enough for me. I only did what I needed to do. Jessica, be happy, even after divorcing Kevin. I'm sincerely rooting for your happiness. I'm really sorry my stupid son caused you so much trouble. You don't need to apologize, Linda. Kevin is an adult, so it's all his responsibility. If my son ever bothers you again, contact me right away. I'll come running. Yes. Have you thought about what you'll do next? I've actually been taking some time for myself, processing everything. That's good. You deserve that time. I never thought divorce would be in my future, especially not so soon after marriage. None of this was your fault, Jessica. I hope you know that. I know. It just takes time to really believe it. Take all the time you need, and remember, even though you and Kevin are no longer together, I still consider you family. That means more to me than you know, Linda. I meant what I said about you being like the daughter I never had. And you've been a real mother to me through all this. Have you heard anything from Kevin lately? Only through the lawyers. He tried calling a few times, but I blocked his number. That's probably for the best. Clean break and all. How is he doing, if you don't mind me asking? Struggling, from what little he tells me, but that's not your concern anymore. You're right. I need to focus on my future now. A bright future, I'm sure of it. After that, the divorce was finalized, on the condition that I wouldn't file a lawsuit. He agreed to pay the settlement in installments. His affair partner, Rachel, couldn't work because she was caring for the newborn, and with child-rearing expenses, Kevin decided to work nights too. Already tight on money. With the settlement payments on top, they barely have enough to get by each day. Due to fatigue and stress from working 2 jobs, he fights constantly with Rachel, and apparently their small apartment echoes with arguments daily. I heard he contacts his mother once a month begging for help, but she turns him away each time. Since he has no money to waste in the first place, I guess his spending habits were forcibly cured. As for me, I started living comfortably by myself, and began using the money I used to give Kevin for myself instead. I used to have no hobbies, but after trying various things, I discovered pottery as a new interest. Though I was always poor at socializing, I seem to connect well with the students at the pottery class I'm attending. We've built a comfortable relationship. There's an exhibition at the class next month, so I'm thinking of inviting Linda too.